again side by side out on the racetrack. Harvick in the 29 car on the bottom, Montoya the 42 up high as they battle for the 10th position. And Harvick had it, Montoya takes it back.
It's like two guys, neither one of them want to give any ground. These guys have been racing each other really hard. Alan?
Well, I'll hate to disagree with you, but the radio traffic on Montoya's channel says she's not really racing Harvick that hard. His spotter, Tab Boyd, had told him the 07 knocked the 29 into you, and Montoya said, that's okay, because I had just waved him through and that happened anyway. So, attention crowd, Montoya says everything's cool, we're sticking to our game plan. Dave?
Interestingly, Alan, during that contact, you saw the third car involved there was Harvick's teammate, the 07, and Kevin's comments right after he got into the 42 was, hey, tell Clint, man, he's got one coming. That wasn't good.
Well, I hear all that, but I still don't think Kevin Harvick likes Juan Pablo Montoya. I don't think Montoya likes him either, so...
16 car of Greg Biffle now becoming a factor. Biffle moving up on the back of the 29 for Harvick. That is for the 11th spot.
And Biffle's got that top side working good, too. Kevin's car is starting to fall off a little bit, not running like it did early in the race. And Biffle's the other way around. He's found some rhythm, and he's got a lot of bite going on there. His car's handling good.
It's like Casey Kane finally got clear of the 26 car, Jamie McMurray. Now these other guys are stuck behind Jamie trying to fight by him. They get up there and maybe race the 9 car.
Now McMurray, he's hoping for a caution flag right now, because if it falls now, he'll get the lucky dog and get back on this lead lap.
But that's why these guys don't just lay over when they do get lapped. They want to stay up there as far as they can, because as long as they're the first car 1 lap down, if the caution comes out, they'll get that what we call the free pass and get back on the lead lap.
Side by side a moment ago for third position. Dale Earnhardt Jr. now gets the highest spot he's had all night long in third spot, starting back in 17th. Bobby Labonte in the 43 car back to fourth.
Right now, Jamie McMurray, who's the lucky dog, if it comes out right now, he is just hoping this caution flag, like I said earlier, because the next guy ahead of him that Casey Kane's going to run down is Robbie Gordon, and Robbie Gordon is driving his brains out too. And I don't think McMurray wants to mess with Gordon, because those two are wrestled pretty hard over this lucky dog spot.
Nobody's really been laying over for these leaders. They've been racing them very hard all night long. You see how this, even though we've got this 2 and 3 lanes of racing, it's still hard for these leaders to work by these lap cars.
3 wide going into turn 3, guys, and they made it. This multi-groove banking at this track is just fantastic. It's holding them. They're not getting out of control, and it's working.
Glenn Boyer in the 07, that's for position. He is 8th. The 17 car of Kenseth is 9th.
And this 6 car of David Reagan made a pit stop about 10 laps ago, and he's got fresh tires on, and that's what you're seeing here. What these new tires are worth. These guys on new tires with the guys on old, against guys on old tires, they can really make some ground here. And you see that's what the 6 car's doing.
Yeah, the way this race is running right now, it really shows how hard this tire is. These guys are running the same laps from the beginning of the run to almost end of the run. It's only a couple tenths of a second different. That's about it. And the goodie that you and I were talking about on the tire, where it's got some grip early for those first 15 laps, well, folks, that's gone right now. Now they're just running these consistent lap times, and when they're running the same speed, they just can't pass anybody.
It seems like those new tires are worth something for just a few laps, maybe 10 or 15 laps, and after that they all kind of even out.
Jamie, what's going down on there with that 07 car? What's going on down there?
Clint Boyer, you're talking about on the move up. He started 15th. I talked to Gil Martin, his crew chief, earlier today. They had everything they could take out from underneath the hood out of the car. And I said, what happened? He said, last night we discovered we had an oil leak. He said, now normally we wouldn't be too stressed. We kind of let it slide. But because of the points chase right now, and they want to lock themselves in that top 12, he said, if it's dirty, we will fix it. We're so concerned right now about making positions up on the track and gaining points right now. That's all they can think about. So there's a lot on the line, but right now, obviously those changes and that oil leak fixing it today paid off.
Brad, you can add as well.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with Clint yesterday, and, you know, as time goes on, each week that goes by and he does not get that win, the pressure, you can just see it mounting on him. He feels like he's let a couple slip away this year, particularly at Infineon. He feels like he should have gotten a win. So I saw it yesterday when we were talking in his face that it's just draining out of him. The pressure is on him to run up front and to get that win, because he's been in the top 5 in the percentage of laps led this season, and he doesn't have much to show for it.
Glenn Boyer 3 times here at Bristol, Tennessee. His best finish came at 8th back in the spring of this year. He was 38th in this race a year ago, and we got a car sideways. Lots of flames underneath the hood of the 11 car.
Slide down. It's on fire. Hop out.
Looks like that engine finally let go in the 11 car.
You know, if he lost a cylinder,
Looks like the fire has gone out.
if he lost a cylinder, Andy, and dropped the valve through the piston, that would cause the fire, I would think. So
Put her to the truck.
we can look at that later on. I think we got an animation that can show that.
The 11 car of Denny Hamlin had been running at the end of the last 53 consecutive races, and that will come to an end tonight as it goes up in just an array of smoke and flames in the 11 car. That he had changed the engine just prior to the race and had to go to the rear of the pack in 40-30. He'd driven it all the way to 5th and then began to slow down.
Yeah, and I tell you, everybody behind him did a good job holding on to it, because that thing was dumping smoke and oil, and whether the track was slick or not, they couldn't see behind him at all getting through the corner, but they all made it through pretty clean.
I guess this answers the question whether it was electrical or not.
No, it wasn't electrical.
I don't believe it was. That was definitely inside the engine.
When they let go at Bristol, it happens in a big way.
What looks like happened here is probably they broke a valve spring, and maybe after that, then the other parts start failing. Tim Brewer can tell us a whole lot more about that in our Dish Tech Center. Tim?
Thanks, Andy. What we're anticipating right here, folks, is the valve spring possibly broke in this area, maybe over revved it or whatever. But what we're going to show you right here is what's going to happen next. When the valve comes down after the spring broke, it's going to get caught. It's not going to set back down on the seat properly. Therefore, it's going to pop the head off the valve eventually. And when it does that, total devastation for the engine. It's going to be a hole in the piston, and that's where you've seen all the smoke and all the fire come out from under the hood.
Yeah, that just goes, when that head of that valve goes in there, it just wreaks havoc inside that engine, destroys it. Pit road is open. The leaders are coming down pit road on the backstretch.
30 miles an hour under caution for the second time. They pitted on lap 127 in the first caution flag of the night. Jamie.
Bobby Labonte been silent on the radio since the last stop. He said he's tight in the middle off. They're going to go up 2 rounds on that track bar, try to free him up a bit, make an air pressure adjustment, and he's out. Alan?
Junior continuing to describe his car as neutral. That's good in handling terms. A 4-tire change and nothing else for the 8 car.
'24 car getting tires changed on the right and left side. Major adjustment in the chassis there, Andy.
Yeah, we see these guys screwing those jack screws around there, trying to change the handling characteristics of this 24. So Jeff's calling for something he wants in the car.
Jeff Gordon down and away. We heard 2 rounds on the track bar up on the 43 car. What are they trying to do for Bobby Labonte? Making a lot of adjustments on these guys. Bobby Labonte, one of the guys like Jeff Gordon, who was also trying to get his car dialed in.
They raise that track bar up. What they're trying to do is free the car up. It may have a little more push than he wants. So they just raise that track bar up, makes the car a little freer, makes the wheels turn a little better.
Second caution flag today coming out on lap 210 when an engine erupts for Denny Hamlin. Back with the green in a moment. Set for the restart at Bristol, Tennessee. Let's listen into the drivers and spotters as we go full throttle.
Green flag, green flag. Green flag. Clear, nothing behind you. Still there, though. Still there. The 10 now. Clear low. Clear. All yours, man. 1 back. 2 back.
2 wide racing at Bristol, Tennessee. Casey Kane has led now twice for 193 of 221 laps. The caution flag just a moment ago. An engine or something erupting in the 11 car of Denny Hamlin. He's standing by with Mike.
Doc, there were warning signs before the spin and subsequent crash. Denny Hamlin was on the radio about 20 laps earlier saying
It sounded like something was amiss. What was it like for you driving what you thought was pretty much a ticking time bomb there? You knew it was going to blow up.
Well, yeah, I mean, we knew it was coming, but wow, I couldn't be prouder for this whole FedEx Freight team. To go from 43rd to 7th on that first run was unbelievable. Our car was magnificent. It was just awesome, and I couldn't be proud of this whole race team. And it's the first time I'm going to have a DNF and walk away with a smile on my face, because these guys are going to have to deal with this team for the rest of the season.
And guys, there's plenty of reason for Denny Hamlin to walk away with that smile on his face. Believe it or not, this is only his second career DNF.
Thanks, Mike. You got to wonder, Andy, if this team is now already locked into the chase where they're doing some R&D trouble up across the racetrack. Contact, the 0-1 car is involved. That is Eric Almirola. And, of course, the 84 also there, A.J. Allmendinger.
Looks like the wing is still attached to the back of both their cars. Let's take a look at this replay, see what happened here.
Jimmy Johnson trying to get by these guys. Gets into the 0-1. Kind of a chain reaction here.
Yeah, it looks like Jimmy just gave the 0-1 a shot and lunged them forward into the back of the 84 car. And they both spin out, and Jimmy drives on by them both.
Yeah. I think that's just a little bit of frustration on Jimmy Johnson's part here. These guys were a lap down, and he's trying to get by them.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson not having the kind of night he's accustomed to. He's back in 19th position, has yet to make it to the top 15, and struggling as evidenced by that tap there just a moment ago.
Welcome back to the Nextel NASCAR Cup Series at Bristol, presented by Pennzoil. And what a weekend it's been for Casey Kane so far. He's led way more laps tonight than he had all last season. He started on the pole tonight. Turns out 4 of his 7 career wins have come from the pole. Let's get the full story in our McDonald's race rundown. And Casey Kane leads the field to green and leads a lap for the first time ever at Bristol, and he has really run the heck out of that car tonight.
He really has, Susie. There's been a resurgence for Casey Kane this second half of the season, and he has come on strong, really out front, cranking on that race car, ran off and left everyone early.
And demonstrating his skill as a driver. The first caution came out when Johnny Sauter slowed up top, and Casey Kane, great job getting around him.
That was incredible. Most of the time the guys are letting out, just trying to get blowed up, but look at that. He missed him by less than a foot. Great awareness by Casey Kane.
Second caution of the night on lap 211. Denny Hamlin felt the impending doom, and then the engine gave out.
He has been the Energizer Bunny this season as far as consistency is concerned. Had a little bad luck tonight, but Denny Hamlin, that FedEx team, they will bounce back.
Only the second DNF of his career, but he's locked into the chase. Joins Jeff Gordon and Matt Kenseth locked in. Doc?
48 car came on the pit road. Jimmy Johnson checking out, opting to bring him in and put some tires on. Mike?
And Doc, they've been struggling with that race car all evening long, mostly tight. The last time down, they pulled the spring rubber. This time, though, major adjustments. They went up 3 rounds on the track bar, took 4 tires and fuel, still trying to free up Jimmy.
Very atypical night for the reigning Cup Series champion, Jimmy Johnson, as he has had 3 consecutive top 5 finishes.
Well, that was a smart move, him pitting.
He missed an opportunity to pit on the first time by there. Some of those guys came in. I was kind of speculating that was an opportunity those guys should have jumped on to get tires, and then the next lap they came in. So
coming down for the restart, we are 18 laps away from the halfway point. Side by side, the battle for second and lap traffic behind Casey Kane. Jeff Gordon with the 8 car of Earnhardt Jr. chomping at the bit right behind him.
You guys, they can run all over this racetrack. They're using the top, the middle, and the bottom. And by doing that, there's no marbles on the racetrack, the rubber buildup that you want to stay out of. They're basically running everywhere on the track and not hitting any of that stuff. It's just a great feeling on a restart where you know you can put the car wherever you want to. Take a look at Dale Jr. going to the front right now, moving up the racetrack in front of Carl Edwards, trying to get some momentum up off the corners doing that.
Edwards has already led for 28 laps, and he's one of the 2 leaders we've had, Casey Kane and Carl Edwards, and Edwards all over the back of Earnhardt Jr.
These guys are racing hard there. It looked like they had just a slight bit of contact here in the last lap. No trouble, though.
Well, we talked about if these tires are fresh, go get it right now. And they've cooled down enough that there's more grip this way. And so you see Dale Earnhardt Jr. trying to overhaul Jeff Gordon right now in that bottom lane by doing that.
Earnhardt Jr. says, if you're going to mess with me, Carl, I'm going to mess with Jeff Gordon and try to take this spot away. And he moves to the bottom side. Looks like he will take that third position away. Dave.
And Jeff Gordon not happy